Hi, this is Optimus Primal, and this is Silverbolt's Transformer Review.
Evening everybody, Silverbolt here, back for a Transformers review. Going to be doing, as per the title page, if I don't drop him first, Windcharger. Now, I would have done the original Generation 1 Windcharger toy, however, I couldn't find it. It's buried in on the top shelf somewhere amongst the other G1s scattered about the place. So couldn't find the G1 Windcharger toy, so I thought I'd do the new Reveal the Shield / Universe / Classics. Okay. Now then, Windcharger is one of those characters that unfortunately never really gets a lot of love. He's one of the few Generation 1s that has never been renamed. Or his name used for a different character, apart from a minicon, I think. And he doesn't get an awful lot of screen time either. His entire way of doing things is, well, his entire persona is very much down to one very memorable incident, which I will get to in time. Now, Windcharger's bio depicts him as somebody who can achieve great speeds for a very small length of time. So he gets off very fast, but he doesn't really do an awful lot after that. Windcharger is very good friends with Brawn. And indeed Windcharger and Brawn were of course both on the first arc to come to Earth in the Generation 1 cartoon. He was part of the initial crew of Autobots who were in stasis lock / dead / retconned, however which way you want to figure it. And didn't wake up until 1984. Now then, once Windcharger woke up, like all the Autobots, he's very prolific in More Than Meets the Eye Parts 1, 2 and 3. But then, like a lot of the smaller Autobots, except for the obvious Bumblebee, he tends to fade into the background a little bit, and even the likes of Brawn and Huffer get more screen time than Windcharger. He doesn't get much chance to show off his abilities during the show, unfortunately. And he never actually has a singular episode, really, as such. Unlike, say, Brawn, when him and Perceptor end up going into Megatron's body, or Huffer in Desertion of the Dinobots in Series 2, Windcharger never gets a singular episode. He just seems to show up, do his bit, and then, well, he kind of vanishes again. I mean, he does go with Skyfire to investigate a super weapon in Peru, and he is actually injured in that mission, which shows him and Brawn's friendship when Brawn says, "Right, we're gonna get payback for this." And sorry, I had a random train of thought then for a second. I was going to go into the episode where Windcharger is captured by Megatron and made into a nice person, before I realised that's not Windcharger, that's Gears. But there we go. So we're not going into that bit just yet, because it's a completely different character view. Now, in the Marvel comics, Windcharger, again, is very much restricted to a bit of a background role. He does pop up in various teams. For instance, he's part of the squad that's put together by Prowl to attack the Blackrock facility. But again, he doesn't really feature an awful lot within the Generation 1 Marvel continuity. And he's one of those characters that seems to be forever doomed to be in the background, because even in his modern incarnation in both Dreamwave and IDW, the only thing Windcharger really does is he attends the funeral of a couple of dead Autobots. That's all he pretty much does. And Windcharger is famous for one real reason only. Is his death. Windcharger, of course, is one of the two. We know they're dead Autobots from the 80s movie, when we see him lying beside Wheeljack with his chest ripped open. Okay, now that is his main focal point throughout the entire of Generation 1. He's just lying there dead. His eyes are all dark. Funny enough, neither of them are black though. Unlike when Prime dies. But there we go. And you just get a shot of RC going, "Oh," kind of job. So, now, in the episode in Series 3 known as Dark Awakening, which as most people are aware is one of my favourite episodes throughout the entire Generation 1 continuity, Daniel being the annoying human sidekick that he is, opens one of the tombs. Now, the body that falls out could be Windcharger, but we don't actually know whose tomb it is that he opens, as far as I'm aware anyway, because he does read them off, Prowl, Huffer, Ironhide, and then he starts pressing buttons, and then he starts whacking it, because as you know, when you're in a giant space tomb, what you want to start doing around the coffins slash mausoleums slash crypts of all these giant dead robots is start beating on things, because that's a great plan. It really is. Fucking nerf herder. Pardon my language. I don't usually swear in these videos anymore. Anyway. So the door opens and what could be Windcharger proceeds to fall out. Now then, Windcharger did of course get a Generation 1 toy in the form of the Microbots, and he's a Pontiac Firebird, though due to the designs of the mini-bots themselves, he does have a rather, his wheels for instance are very oversized in the Generation 1 cartoons. However, in the new line we have something that very much resembles his original Generation 1 toy in the Reveal the Shield line. I believe it's the Reveal the Shield, and he's a Scout class. And it's about time Windcharger got some love, because the only other toy we've had of Windcharger, that, to my recollection anyway, is Alternator's Windcharger, who didn't even get to keep his own mould. I believe he was actually remoulded into Sceptercharge as well. So, one of the few Alternators I don't have. So, there we go. Anyway, so Windcharger was... he hasn't really had an awful lot of love as our Windcharger. Until now, when he comes back with a fighting vengeance in the form of this lovely, lovely Scout. Okay, it's a Scout class, so it's hardly rocket science to transform, so it should only take me about 3 weeks to do. Snap the legs down, and they fold out and down. The feet just fold forward. Push the sides of the legs in. The arms simply just fold out like that. Push the waist in. Acrobatic. Push the waist in to meet with the torso area. Pull the bonnet down and turn the head round. Now, Windcharger does, of course, come, as he is part of the Reveal the Shield line, we do have the return on the Reveal the Shield line of rub signs. Nowhere near as... what's the word I'm looking for? You know, you really need to be in some of the older rub signs, whether it's just a sign of age, whether they were like that back in the day, I can't quite recall, but you really needed to be, you know, pretty much in a boiling inferno in order to be able to figure out the signs. However, the new ones are much, much easier, and there we have, which you can't see in this light, the Autobot rub sign in green. Vaguely see it there. And rapidly, rapidly fading to orange again. Naturally enough, all the Reveal the Shield toys have the rub signs back. It's like they're pumping them out like it's a new gimmick. It's really quite weird. However, one of the things that is quite likely a very deliberate touch, but one of the ones that I'm actually quite pleased Hasbro have done, is that the Reveal the Shield line fits very, very nicely in with the Generations line. So that, as far as I'm concerned, is all good. This is a Windcharger in his robot mode. His head is probably what I think is the nicest aesthetic to the toy. It's got a very, very Generation 1 look to it, and it's a great homage to what is, as I said, sadly, a very underused character. One of the things that I really do like about this toy is, one of the things that it does have is it does have the, obviously Transformers over the last 5 years have becoming much more to the point where they have ball and socket joints, as you can just see there. Unfortunately, yes, I have just spread his legs and I am pointing his crotch to the camera, and I'm showing you what could actually be his balls. I think I'm going to change this angle. before KISS players start getting ideas. We'll show you in his shoulder. Just there, ball and socket joints. Two reasons. One, it gives a greater degree of posability. Two, it means you can pop them off. I'm not going to. And put them back on. So they're safer for little kiddies and heavy-handed transformer fans to play with without breaking them. But they've also started adding on these clip-on parts. Now, Reveal the Shield Jazz has them in his speakers review, will come up at some point. Retgar's Axe has them in that he can clip onto the back of his the back of his neck, which I won't go into too much detail because Retgar will be getting a review because he's an awesome toy. But that's another point besides this point. Windcharger has them as well, despite the fact that he has no accessories that can technically clip onto him. He does have them there. Excuse me. The other thing this toy does come with, if you twist the hands in, you can give him hand cannons. It's on both hands, and of course, you know, the Generation 1, the 80s cartoon, they were quite famous for, you know, retracting the hand into their arms and then bringing out some fancy little gizmo tool thing. Whether that's a deliberate homage to a toy that, well, to a character that, to my recollection, never actually did that, I don't know, but it can be done with this with both hands, and it is a very, very nice little touch in the fact that the hands then close away completely. Now then, one of the things that I don't like so much about some of the Reveal the Shield is that traditionally we've always had Transformers with a closed fist. However, lately they seem to be pushing them out with these death curls, which is the natural position of a human hand that's completely loose. If you actually hold your hand loose and just don't do anything, the fingers naturally curl inwards. And these toys have this as well, in that the fingers are curled, so they don't actually have solid grips on some of them. But there we go. Overall, that really doesn't take away from what is, in essence, an absolutely fantastic little toy. A great degree of posability, and even though he's a scout class, but he really does fit in quite nicely with the other Transformers that are within the Reveal the Shield line and the Classics line. For instance, standing him next to Prime is a very nice touch, in that Prime, of course, being a Voyager, and he's a Scout. It's quite a nice little size comparison for the two. I do recommend you get him. He's certainly not expensive. I mean, I picked this guy up in Asda, or was it Tesco? One of the supermarkets, so he's certainly not very, very far away from home or anything like that. Now then, that is honestly all about I can say on Windcharger at this moment in time and his toy. If you can get him, definitely get him, because he's a great addition, as I said. He's a really, really nice toy, and I'm sure at some point we're going to see either a reissue or a remold of said toy. But for now, this is Silverbolt with Reveal the Shield Windcharger, signing off, saying au revoir, adios, auf Wiedersehen.